Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching the continuous coverage of Sansad Television on budget, and joining us right now two very, very special guests, Finance Secretary Mr. Pandey and DIPAM Secretary Mr. Chawla. Welcome to Sansad Television and thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Pandey, let me begin the program with you and talking about the growth projections. The economic survey talked about the growth projection that is expected to be between 6.3% to 6.8%, sir. And today's budget, how do you think it stimulates the drivers of growth?
Well, today's budget, as FM said, that we have four engines: agriculture, MSME, investments, and exports, and it touches all of the sectors. We are also having a very healthy capex. We have a 17% projection. The increase in the BE is 17% from the RE. If you count both our direct capex and the indirect capex to the states, which are both in the statement, to the order of 15.68 lakh crore. And it also provides the money in the hands of the taxpayers of an order of 1 lakh crore. It simplifies procedures, it trusts the thing, it removes irritants, it wants to increase the productivity. So it is trying to do, and we want to deregulate. We want to do all that is possible to spur our potential growth, and hopefully, despite the headwinds, we would like to march forward more resolutely.
Absolutely, sir. You talked about headwinds. Look at the uncertain era that we're living in. Geopolitical tensions, there's inflationary pressure. Do these things make the Finance Secretary of India jittery about the growth projections?
Well, I think these are the challenges we must face. These are the reality, and we must bring our heads together and see that it is there. Despite it, of course, we would like to grow faster than but we still remain as one of the fastest growing large economy in the world. Right. So the point is our aspirations are higher. For a Viksit Bharat, we need higher growth and higher consistent growth. So we must explore all the different options, but we must also not be really sanguine that everything will be favorable to us. Right. Things will crop up, we'll have to face the challenges and we have to react to that, we have to strategize for that, and that's what our effort has been.
And brave all odds, absolutely, sir. And Mr. Chawla, talking about disinvestment target, of course, the government has done away with the precedence of setting a disinvestment target, but the calculation says that it has been pegged at 47,000 crore rupees, sir. What is the asset monetization roadmap ahead for you?
We have a composite roadmap, and it's part of a value creation strategy. Not just for the government, which is the promoter, but also for the small investor who has reposed faith in us and who is invested in public enterprises. And as part of this strategy, we follow a 5-pronged approach. Essentially, we monitor the performance and give guidance to public enterprises. We ensure they make productive investments because a lot of capex comes from the public enterprises. We communicate timely and clearly. We ensure a consistent and regular sustained flow of dividend incomes to the investors. And we follow a calibrated monetization strategy. All this has to be seen together. So you don't see and read one number as a whole. It goes together with all these things which are built into different parts of the budget. There is a dividend ambition, there's a dividend target which will further this roadmap. There is a capex target which is built into the budget, which you just talked about. And there is a calibrated asset monetization strategy. So it's all put together.
All put together, amalgamation of all important elements, sir. But there's a lot of debate on whether one has to focus on the targets of disinvestment or focus on the creation of value of CPSEs. Sir, what's your take on that?
Good question. You're talking about a difficult trade-off. And therefore, I would suggest you look all three together. Depending on market conditions, depending on investor appetite, there may be a slip at one place, but there would be gain on the other. And you will see it.
Absolutely, sir. So there'll be a perfect balance. But Mr. Pandey, there's another specific area that I'd like to talk about, which is employment. Unemployment levels have declined. Fortunately, sir, we are living in the era of AI. We also, the budget document also talked about creating a center of excellence for AI. So there's a very interesting debate whether AI and labor, catalyst or crisis. How do we navigate this difficult labyrinth?
Well, I think this subject has also been dealt with by the chief economic advisor in the economic survey at great length. There are two sides to AI. AI is not an unmitigated benefit. There are risks to it, also to some of the large labor surplus economies like we have, where we have talent, we have demography, and we have lots of people who could do that. And to the extent that AI will replace the jobs, I think it's a threat to us. But we also have to find out, into what extent AI can also aid us. So therefore, it's like AI has to be looked at with that kind of an approach where while we build our capacities for AI, we also do not ignore the sectors where brick and mortar sectors are equally important for us. It's very important that, for example, plumbing. Now, plumbing, the AI will not do a plumbing. Plumbing has to be done. So we have lots and lots of this construction. We have to, but AI will be able to sort of replace some of the IT jobs that to get, so we have to have a strategy and the center of AI excellence and how to deal with that. Many of these disruptive technologies, they do come. We grapple with it. We find out the strategies. And then we find out how we can get benefited from that. So that has been our goal.
So we survive and thrive. And talking about another very important aspect, sir, manufacturing. Manufacturing has long been the Achilles heel of Indian economy, if one could say that. But recently there has been a lot of focus on manufacturing. Today also there's this mission for boosting manufacturing to boost Make in India initiative as well. So how do you see the multiplier effect of the focus on manufacturing on different sectors of the economy?
The manufacturing, I think manufacturing is something which requires all round efforts, right? All sectorally. For example, the manufacturing will require, support of different kinds. Logistics, for example, India is doing consistently improving this logistics and bringing down logistics as a cost of transaction. If you remove the logistic cost, manufacturing will improve. What is manufacturing? You bring in technologies, you make your things competitive. Then, secondly, our import policy. We're trying to have our import policy which supports manufacturing. In terms of, there should not be any duty inversion. That means you should be able to bring the duties at much lower cost, add value, and so therefore you should be able to export. If you have a duty inversion, that will be, your manufacturing will be disincentivized. We have to make procedural changes wherever we can. In case of electronics manufacturing, this budget we have made several announcements, including, for example, the supply chain, the storage, the non-residents coming and doing it. For example, we have huge electronics supply chain now, and we are trying to build one. India is already manufacturing and exporting huge amount of electronics, which we used to import earlier. So these are the kind of things that we do. And in terms of direct support, the PLI, so PLI, non-PLI, procedures, import policies, logistics, infrastructure, all of them actually a part of making our manufacturing attractive. And then most importantly, MSMEs.
Right.
We are saying that the MSMEs, which are doing 45% of exports and they're backbone of our economy, how we can credit and supporting, and there have been several announcements today for MSMEs.
That's right, sir. And before we wrap up this conversation, Mr. Chawla, I know it's too early to ask this, but are you looking at specific sectors for this investment?
Yes and no, but market sensitive information has to wait.
Right, sir. We'll wait for that information. But on that note, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Pandey and Mr. Chawla.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.